With me now, Pennsylvania Democratic Congressman Jason Altmire. Congressman, nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right. It does seem we have bipartisan agreement to extend the holiday, but there's some disagreement on two fronts. One, how to pay for it, and two, whether to expand it to employers. Where are you at on this?
I think we definitely need to extend it. There's no question. We're in a fragile
One for
recovery.
Employees.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, a 4.2% payroll tax, which is down from 6.2. Extend it for one more year. We're in the fragile recovery. We had some good employment news today. This is not the time, I think, on the payroll side to allow that to expire.
But that's agreed upon. It seems like we do have a super majority at this point in the Senate that agrees on that point. The disagreement is to pay for and the extension. First, hit me with the extension. Where are you on that?
Well, if you want to bring it over to the employer side, that's a debate we can have. And if you want to bring it down to 3.1%, which is half of where it usually is at 6.2, that's another issue. I would like to see the pay for on that. I think it makes sense to apply it to the employer, but at some point the cost is going to add up on that. But I think allowing it to expire is not an option.
Where were you on a millionaire surtax?
I don't want to pay for it through a millionaire surtax. We're going to have the debate on the Bush tax cuts next year. They all expire at the end of 2012. I think the public overwhelmingly supports allowing that top tax bracket to expire. I'm willing to have that debate. I don't think adding the surtax right now is the right answer.
Senate Republicans say, the White House claims that that version was a balanced approach, and they say no, it wasn't because there were no cuts. Do you believe there should be both, maybe getting rid of some tax loopholes and cuts in order to...
Whenever we do comprehensive tax reform, perhaps lowering the corporate rate, dealing with the capital gains rate, some of the other big tax issues, yes, we need to lower some of those rates as well and reduce spending. That's not what this is about. This is about a tax that's about to expire and needs to be extended for one more year.
Right, but so how do you pay for this?
Well,
what's your favorite idea?
I don't like the surtax. I don't want to use the federal employees as the Senate put forward.
Right.
If you want to go into this overseas contingency fund, which some people view as an accounting gimmick, but it's going to be used for something, we can look at that. But
selling spectrum?
Perhaps, yeah,
okay. Something
like that. But it's a $120 billion cost just to extend the current payroll tax, which is why I say if you extend it beyond that, you get into big numbers.
So you're at this point, you think realistically you can only do the extension, not the expansion?
I think that's where we're going to end up.
All right, quick political question. You comfortable running with President Obama at the top of the ticket in Western Pennsylvania?
Well, I won in 2008 in a district that President Obama lost by 11 points, so I don't view that as something that's going to impact the way people perceive me and the campaign I'm going to run. I don't know what President Obama is going to do in the state of Pennsylvania.
How nervous should he be? Should his campaign people be?
I think in Western Pennsylvania, he's definitely not as popular as I'm sure he would like to be, and statewide, the polls have shown he's not doing very well right now.
All right, that's one other reason you're here.
Yeah.
We made a little football bet. We probably would have made a bigger deal of it, but frankly, the whole world of NCAA sports is you're a Florida State alum. You played on the football team. I'm just a University of Miami super fan. So we bet on the game. But before we get to how we are resolving this bet, the Penn State scandal, it's obviously having an impact. I mean, have we allowed these institutions and football to become too big?
I'm from Pennsylvania, so we hear about this story every day, and it has definitely put in perspective the significance of the academic and the research side of universities and the distraction ball and sports are meant to be for the spectators. Obviously, for student athletes, it's a part of their experience there. But what has happened at Penn State has really demonstrated that there are other things that are happening at universities that are much more important than what's happening on the playing field. And unfortunately, it looks like they may have allowed that balance to be a little bit out of whack.
All right, so we bet each other, and we've claimed that we both won.
Right.
Because Florida State beat Miami.
Right.
But I say, hey, they covered the spread, and we're not saying gambling matters, but the Noles were ridiculously favored by 10 points.
Right. We have Bino Kukas from Pittsburgh, and he has a saying, it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether you cover the spread. So I think we came to a draw.
We did, and we are both contributing money to each other's favorite charities here. Yours is?
American Legion Homeless Veterans Fund.
All right, and mine is Samaritan's Inn right here in Washington, D.C. We both are writing checks now. I don't have big checks here. I just got small ones. Anyway, Congressman.
Thank you, Chuck. Glad to do it.
All right. Coming up, failure to connect. We've got the inside scoop from voters, and it's crystal clear why Mitt Romney has stalled in the polls, and we'll tell you